Greetings all, it's Blue Knight, and welcome back to Persona 3 FES. Previously, we continued exploring the Xia block and eventually stopped at the next Guardian floor. That entire recording took me an hour and a half just to reach that next floor. It was the longest session I had with Tartars in a while, but we are not done yet. Because today, we're going to return to that floor and take on the next Guardian that lies within the labyrinth. For this fight, I'm bringing along Junpei, Mitsuru, and I replaced Aigis with Akihiko. The reason why will become clear in just a few moments. For this next Guardian, I'm kinda not looking forward to facing because we're actually on the same level as with this Guardian, much like we did with the Hell Knights from last time. Let's hope this battle will go a little smoother though.
Its arcana is strength. This won't be easy.
Judging by the looks of it, Fuka, I can agree with that. This is the mythical Gygas. Like with the Hell Knights, we're at the same level with this thing at level 48. It's strong to slash, repel strikes, and knows pierce. So by that logic, you might be wondering why I brought Akihiko along since its melee attacks are strike based. Well, it's actually pretty simple. I can't do anything with his tactics, so I guess I'll have to learn the hard way that this guy does repel strikes. So the key thing here is I want to use electricity attacks and have Mitsuru use ice attacks. Because the method I'm trying to attempt in this battle is to either freeze or shock this guy so we can get crit attacks on him, allowing us to do AOA attacks, or all-out attacks, all-out attack. That's kind of redundant. At least Akihiko was not foolish in using a melee strike attack. He did try to go for Zionga. And why is Junpei waiting? Junpei, you're free to use fire spells because this thing has no property with fire whatsoever. I have no idea why he waited. Should I brought him to attack this enemy? I'll give him one more turn. If he doesn't attack, then I'll have to consider something that's very wrong with Junpei for some reason. And this thing, oh my god, that Vile Assault, jeez. Holy, that did a lot of damage, but thankfully Akihiko was able to repair some of that. So to go through this Shadow's moveset, it has Vile Assault like we just saw. The first time I think we have seen it in this battle. Junpei is not going to attack again, why is he doing that? Okay, Junpei, it looks like I'll have to force you to attack this thing. I was not expecting this, so I'll let you go on Conserve SP. Hopefully that will work. Actually, no, what am I doing? Maybe Full Assault should work. I hope it will, otherwise Junpei will be a bit of a burden in this fight, since we'll be taking up a spawn in the party of him doing nothing. Which is not what I was expecting. Got Marakuna 2, which lowers all our defense. The Volatile we saw moments ago deals 1.5 times damage to down foes. So we have to make sure that nobody gets stumbled or knocked down when we're in the path of the mythical Gygas. This thing also has something called Death Bound. Junpei's still not attacking. Man, this is a huge problem. I have no idea why he's doing that. Junpei, come on. I got here so you can use slash attacks on this thing. Conserve SP then? Man, this is not gonna work out the way I want it to, then we might be in a bit more of a struggle with this battle. Junpei's just sitting on his hands and knees doing nothing. And I got credit great. Let's use for Rocky Knight 2. Ooh man, that did a lot of damage. But that's why I brought Junpei along, because he resists fire, so that Mirage Death will be safe with him.
How disgraceful.
Maybe if I rush, I'll make Junpei attack. There we go. Okay, since I have Thought Doubts, this will make me use the diorama so I can heal everyone up. I don't think we've seen this move that the mythical Gygas has. It's called Death Bound, which does heavy slash damage. Here it comes though! Oh man, just as I said that it was gonna do it, it did go for it anyways. It's like it was reading my mind or something. And that's what I was wanting to happen. Now we could go on the attack with the AOA since this thing is shocked, which is guaranteed for us to get crits on the mythical Gygas, which means we can launch AOAs to our heart's content, at least until this guy recovers. So the strategy is working, and that did deal some damage. Not that these spells that we were dishing out to begin with we're doing very little damage. It was actually, we're actually taking out his HP pretty significantly, I'd say. We also saw this thing has power charge, so you can gear up for heavier strike attacks. Thankfully they're doing that time around, just did a regular slash attack. So that's pretty much all this thing has. So I guess as a short review, it has Vile Assault, Deathbound, Maracunda, and Power Charge, and Meraki died. I was expecting to have a lot more trouble with this battle than I already have right now. Well, aside from Droopy just sitting around doing nothing, I have no idea why he's doing that. By all intents and purposes, he should be attacking on his own free will, but he's not. That's really strange. So at least I know this AOA strategy can work when we get these scattered elements to work in our favor. And speaking of which, Akihiko went down. That wasn't good. Maybe I should have healed up everyone instead of going on the attack myself. This Junpei will be able to heal himself. He's doing something for once. Unfortunately, though, I have not had the time to go to the pharmacy as of late, so I only have one revival bead to my name. And just as I thought, this thing was using Deathbound, so it took down Mitsuru and Akihiko. That's great. And of course, Junpei's not gonna do anything, and I stumbled because of that Deathbound. And this thing decided to do that?
I'm still thinking.
Okay then, this battle's going really strange. So now, I don't want to waste my bombs of life, so I guess we're left with a 2-on-1 situation. Which means I'm gonna have to force Junpei to go on the attack whenever his turn comes around. At least he can withstand the Meraki Dine with very little HP, with very little damage taken from that attack. I'll use another Diorama to keep ourselves alive since I'm going to take the role of pseudo healer for now. I was thinking of bringing Yukari along for this battle, but this thing does nullify here, so she would only be put in a full healer support role.
If you get into trouble, run.
But this is kind of working out so far, despite the fact that I have very low health at the moment. That's why I'm a diorama. That will keep myself alive unless this thing decides to use Deathbound again, which has caused me to stumble a lot more than I initially thought in this battle, and Junpei went down. I was not expecting Deathbound to cause as many crits to us as it has. That's really strange. At least we'll cast on another diorama. I'll wait for the Gigas or Gygas, whatever his name is, to attack. Or use Maracunda, that works too. I don't care if I have low defense, that means I'll get one more chance to go on the attack.
Please be careful.
I'll go for another Zionga. I think we'll be fine after this next cycle. And then you use Rocky Dine, you fool! That won't do that much damage to us, which means Junpei will almost take you down. And what's going on? I thought you would go down by now. You have very low health. There we go. Thank you, Junpei. You were the one being stubborn to begin with, so I had to force you to make your move.
My persona has gained a new ability.
And apparently this is happening.
This ability is special. Even I don't know what it will do. It has its pros and cons. It's kind of hard to explain. But it has the potential to change the outcome of the battle. Please let me know when you would like to use it.
And now Fuka can use something called Oracle. And we also level up to level 51. That was a really strange battle I had with the mythical Gygas, or Gigas. I still have no idea how to pronounce that word, but other than that, that was a really odd battle we had. Junpei wasn't moving on his own free will, so I had to force him to make his move. And unfortunately, the other two people who were actually contributing to that fight went down from that attack. So I can actually show this off. So if we do leave a floor, when we have party members down, we'll be informed by our support member that one of our members have become unconscious, but we can't go on without them. If we do proceed forward without the party members be revived, then they will be returned back to the bottom floor. However, because we abandoned Akihiko and Mitsuru, that means that they will leave Tartarus the moment we go back to the bottom floor. Or should I say the entrance to Tartarus. So when we go back, we will be able to grind up Akihiko and Mitsuru if we have the opportunity to do so. At the very least, I could just proceed forward and get to the next blockade. Because we are nearing the end of the Zaya block since the deadline for that old document is available for us to complete. So, only be a matter of time for us to reach the next blockade of Tartarus, and then we can go back down and just handle some more bits from there. And here we are. This seems to be the top, but there's nothing there. Yeah, it's very odd. Usually there'd be some sort of blockade that's blocking us from a staircase, but if we look around, there's no such thing around here. We can't even go back down. Not that that was ever an option to do in Tartarus in the first place. Once you advance up to the next floor, you can't retreat back to the previous floor. So it looks like we've reached the top of Tartarus at long last. So we'll head back to the entrance of this labyrinth and do some request business first. I still can't believe how weird that battle went. We did pretty good, all things considered. But Junpei didn't want to move on his own at all, despite that he could actually do it. He had nothing that was holding him back from being able to do so. And we got a lot of crits that happened in that fight. More ills happened in our favor, and I've never seen Deathbound actually do that many crits before. So that was a really odd fight. At least it wasn't any tougher than the Hell Knights battle, which is what I'm very thankful for. Because I was really expecting that particular shadow to be tougher than that trio we faced off, because it was on its own. So I thought it would be at least provide some sort of difficulty. But now we can hand in these requests to Elizabeth. I see you brought 3 gold rings as I asked. Thank you. The wondrous Magus is a tough foe, is it not? And yet, you still have managed to fulfill my request. As my master says, it seems you have unlimited potential. As if you should ever doubt us, Elizabeth. We've been able to handle a lot of these kind of difficult tasks before, and we got 340,000 yen. Alright. Add that to the huge amount of yen I already got. We got the red armor plates now turned in. To defeat shadows carrying this type of item must have been difficult. Not really. It was really weak when it came to the AOAs. But it all actually depended on the party that I was going into fighting those Scarlet Turds with. Because I remember off screen I was doing some more Scarlet Turd hunting with a different party, and when we did the AOA, it didn't deliver as much damage as we did when we first saw those Scarlet Turds, so that was kind of strange. Yes, I have, Elizabeth. I have that 7th old document as you wanted. It seems to retrieve the 7th old document from the highest reach of Zaya, and of Tartarus for that matter. That means you have finished exploring the 4th block of Tartarus. However, I feel your greatest challenge is yet to come. I'm not sure how we could do that considering we've reached the very pinnacle of the labyrinth. I mean, there's nowhere else to go. But she still has faith in us. Not that I was expecting her to lose faith in us at all. Finally! I got Sakimitama to learn its last ability, Divine Grace. I really wanted that ability for a long time. I'm so glad I finally have it. So what makes Divine Grace so spectacular is that it allows the persona to have greater effects for their healing spells. And if I had to estimate, I think the diorama might be able to heal everyone back to full health now, which is very good for us to use. Because, 1, there is a stronger healing spell that we could get a little later on in the game, but it costs a lot of SP to use. And that brings me to my second reason. Because we have Divine Grace now, we'll be able to use the stronger version of Meteorama for the same amount of SP we have currently. So, in essence, Divine Grace equals stronger Meteorama for the same cost of SP that we've been currently using with that skill. I'm pretty sure this is a new persona we have. Lachesis. Lachesis. I have no idea how you pronounce that word, but it is of the Fortune Arcana, which means I can replace Fortuna. Not sure if I'll be able to use this thing in battle, since I don't really see that often in this game, but it's nice to have it for a compendium now. Finally, I hit level 52! This was the level I was aiming for, that's why I decided to grind around Tartarus for a little longer. Also, Quetzalcoatl leveled up to 47, which gives me the ability to learn Mahamon. I actually think I want to keep that around. But what to get rid of? All these abilities are pretty good. I don't think I want to get rid of anything. He still has one more ability to learn, so I want to keep Growth 2 around for a little longer. I'll get rid of No Freeze. I don't see Freeze popping up that often. Even so, it never really works. I've only seen the Freeze status ailment work once, and that was off screen when I was grinding for this series. And as usual, we'll wrap things up by combining some personas together. First, with Mithra, Kumokuten, and Os, we'll fuse Narasima of the Strength Arcana. Could get a lot of physical skills out of this deal, so I'm not too hurt about that, though I don't really use this thing that much. This is once again just to fill out the compendium, and considering that we're nearing 50%, which is my personal goal, I really don't mind having to use this thing at all. At least it'll get a lot of points out of this Strength Social Lake. So I can learn Herculean Strike and Power Charge. What else can you learn? Blade of Fury, that's one skill I don't think we've seen yet. And I don't think it's gonna learn it yet. No, it's not. If we did complete that Strength Social Link, it would've. But I remember Blade of Fury being a pretty good slash attack, but it's gonna be a little longer before we see that thing in action. But the main reason why I used Narasima was to get this persona. And oh boy, let me tell you, I've been looking forward to getting my hands on this thing once again. So with Ganga and Lachesis, we can create Cert, the ultimate magician persona, and one of my personal favorites in the game. This is without a doubt the best fire persona we can possibly put together, because it's got one unique ability that I want. Not to mention, because we need to max out the Magician Social Link in order to fuse this thing, it gets a guaranteed 5 level ups, and this one can have an item we can get if we're able to level it up enough. I don't care about Masukikashi or Rikaran, those will get replaced anyways. So right off the bat, we could get Meraki-tan to use ourselves. That same skill we saw when we were fighting the mythical Gigas. And as we can see, it can learn something called Ragnarok. That is a devastating fire spell that we can use. And I am so looking forward to the day where we can show that off in battle. We'll have to do a little more grinding to get that ourselves, but trust me, once we do get that skill, any shadow that stands in our way, especially those that are weak to fire, are gonna be in for a bad, bad day. So after fusing Cert, I'll just go around my persona list to see if I have any other possible fusions I can create, and I did come across one. With Narasima and Girimikala, we can fuse Ubelaris of the Hanged Mana Arcana. I'm not really too concerned about fusing away Giri Mikala, because since I have a lot of cash on hand right now, I can just buy it back with ease, or with Gur for that matter. I'm Belarus, I was born with thee, I shall walk by thy side. This thing is quite the stone warrior, if I do say so myself. And judging by its appearance, it is specialized in physical skills. And look at that Herculean strike. That name is so long, it's actually going through the box of where that name is contained in. That's kind of funny. I've never seen that happen before, actually. It's even touching the K too. I'm more amused about that than I should be, but it's pretty funny. Okay, you can learn Evade Strike too. Now I'll get rid of Recardra. I don't like that skill, so I'm never gonna use that whatsoever. So I don't mind getting rid of it. Like with most physical personas, I don't really use this thing that much in battle, except for like dire situations when I somehow have it on hand, but it's one more persona to fill out the compendium. Not a lot of personas we fused together, did we? Well, to be honest, I didn't want to overlevel for the full moon operation coming up because we're pretty good when it comes to our current level as it is. I mean, we're at level 52, so that's nothing to sneeze at. So I think we'll be pretty comfortable when the full moon does arrive. It's unfortunate that I say that because a lot of personas that I want happen to be hovering around the level 50 range at this current time. So as much as I want to keep grinding and get those personas, they're gonna have to wait for a later time because I don't want to just steamroll through this last full moon operation with ease, and that wouldn't just be entertaining for you guys to watch. So we're gonna hold off on grinding and proceed forward with the last few days leading up to the final full moon operation. Until we meet again, farewell for now.
Once again, I'm back in the lab, cleaning my knives, ready for stabs. I never committed a crime I had to. Out of necessity, I don't crumble. I play guilty to Lord in the chapel. Forgiveness given cause I don't look for trouble. Instead finds me, and what I do is fight back. Never look back, the past